Welcome back to SparkleDart. I'm going to talk more about the what was I talking about last time? The 2D versus 3D artwork for Crash Bandicoot. And this might be a conversation that has to go on hold for a little bit because this is probably the hardest level in the game. I will tell you a fun fact about this particular level and about the game in general is that in Crash Bandicoot 1, every level has a like a harder version of the level, if you know what I mean. So like the first level, the second level, Jungle Rollers, has a harder level called a Rolling Stones. The level Boulder Dash has a harder level called Boulders. Upstream has a harder level called Up the Creek or something like that. So this level, Stormy Ascent or Slippery Climb, was going to have a harder version of it called Stormy Ascent, and the level still exists in the game's data. And I believe the level is where you can unlock the red gem in that level. Even though the red gem is still available in a different level, you can find it in that level too if you hack the game and get the gem. I don't know why they took it out. My only real assumption is that they took it out because it was too difficult. I'm stupid, by the way, so if you're wondering why I keep failing, it's because I'm stupid. They took it out, and that's your fun fact for the day. I've got another fun fact for you. I played, on the channel I've already played Spyro the Dragon. I didn't beat it. Going back to what I was talking about in the last episode, I didn't beat Spyro the Dragon because I didn't play the whole series in one sitting. And I didn't go back to playing it again after that because I changed how I was recording my my audio and my video. Okay, well I contest that I landed on that platform, but I guess I didn't. So you know what? That's up on me. That's my own fault. I take full responsibility for that that insufficient action that I performed. So yeah, I didn't finish Spyro the Dragon because I changed the equipment that I was working with, and I didn't want there to be a sharp increase in quality between two episodes. So what I'm probably going to do at some point is replay the first Spyro game, because I really want to play the second one, and I feel like I should finish the first one before I play the second one. So if you see new episodes of Spyro going up, they're not like similar to the old ones. I'm probably going to do something different. I don't know. Maybe I'll pretend to be a British pilot and play the whole episode that way. By the way, yeah, if you didn't realize by now, SparkleDart is a character that I do. I'm not going to maybe I'll talk about that a little bit. So SparkleDart is a character that I do. If you go back and listen, I used to say some pretty outlandish things. I still do sometimes, but not so much anymore. Just because I felt like I don't need the crutch of relying on a fake reality to tell a story. And I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like in improv, and not that I don't want to like say that I'm an improv genius or anything, but the original idea behind SparkleDart was that every series was going to be played by a different character that I was going to do. And as far as I remember, so I started SparkleDart in, I think, the summer of 2015, so like almost 2 years ago, actually. Thank God for the checkpoint. Almost 2 years ago. And I was going to do different characters for every series that I played. The only series that I ever was able to do a different character for was Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was my first series on the channel. But I tried recording it, and it didn't turn out very well, because about halfway through, I defaulted back into the SparkleDart character that I'm currently doing. You might be thinking to yourself, well, SparkleDart, you should go back and try, because that sounds like a pretty good idea. Not to like toot my own horn here, but I do think that sounds like a good idea. Like, because I'm not doing face cam or anything, I feel like I should at least make the attempt to do this SparkleDart character thing that I had in mind. Maybe I will someday. Maybe if this ever becomes a serious project where I can like quit my job and do it, maybe I will play other characters. Until now, I'm just going to do this one character because it's the only one that I've been able to perfect. To explain the character that I do now, the SparkleDart character, I guess the best explanation for that is that I Oh, okay, I see. Oh, this is stressful. I was recording my first video, Super Mario Land 2, which I recorded at least 3 times, and I think the 4th take was the one that finally went up on the channel. So go back and watch that. The Super Mario Land 2 is the 4th attempt at playing that game. I started recording as myself, but what happened about halfway through was I ran out of stuff to say as myself, so I started doing a character. And the character just kind of came so naturally to me that, like, I couldn't not do it whenever I was subsequently recording. So even still, I had the idea of doing a Let's Play as myself, but like maybe on this channel or on a different channel. I'm not quite so certain about that yet. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do a different person, character, myself. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. SparkleDart, even if he is a character, he has become part of who I am and who I am meant to be. And if you give a damn, take me, baby, or leave me. That's another Rent reference for you fucking gays out there. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, SparkleDart, you've referenced Rent twice now, and you're going to call other people gay? Listen, Rent's a good movie. Go watch it. If you really want to know what my favorite musical is, I can tell you. It's The Little Shop of Horrors. I like The Little Shop of Horrors the best. And the reason for that is because I'm a sucker for any movie where the bad guys win in the end. But then I found out that movie originally ended with Audrey 2 taking over the world. But eventually, when they released it in theaters, they reshot the end and made it so that Audrey 2 wound up electrifying itself on some wiring or something like that and dying that way. And I'm like, okay, so even for Audrey 2, even if Audrey 2 was going to die from like anything, it's got to be a little bit more like intense than like a broken light bulb or something like that. You know, the whole movie, Audrey 2 is like an innocent plant, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's gonna take over the world, whatever. And I don't know. That's just my opinion on the matter. I'm not a genius like Mel Brooks who made Spaceballs or anything. I'm just some guy who watched a musical and kind of liked it, and then hoped that they would make more, but they didn't, and I'm just kind of upset now because, you know, whatever. I like musicals. You know, I can't beat around the bush. I watched Les Miserables, and I watched Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I watched The Little Shop of Horrors. And if you really want to know how much I like musicals, I'll tell you. I memorized all of them, and I'll give you a little taste of what I know. Joseph's mother, she was quite my favorite wife. I never really loved another all my life, but Joseph was my joy because he reminded me of her. That's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I like how they add reverb to this level because it's like a big giant cave. But the way they add reverb is by just doubling up Crash's sound effects and not dampening them at all. So they just play twice in succession, but it doesn't sound like it's any further away like an echo would because echoes are cool. Listen, I like echoes. I'm just a guy who likes echoes and geckos. And neckos, which is Japanese for cat. I was teaching you Russian earlier. I'm going to teach you Japanese now. Konnichiwa, arrivederci. Back on that. That was actually one of my favorite gags from. I didn't like the movie. What the fuck is that movie called? I not gonna remember that Quentin Tarantino film. It's not coming to me. I didn't watch the whole movie, and I watched half of the movie like 8 years ago, maybe even more than that. Fuck. I don't know what it is. It's the one that's like most of it is in Italian or something. I like Quentin Tarantino. I'm not a huge fan of his films. If I had to pick a favorite director, I'd say I'd probably like the Coen brothers or Mel Brooks. I think they're good at what they do. Really? I didn't get a checkpoint that whole fucking time? Really? Okay. I'm sorry if this is pissing you off. Not only are these levels harder, but I'm like subconsciously aware of the fact that they're getting harder, so I'm just doing worse overall, which is why I tried so hard and got so far, and in the end it didn't really matter. But I got 99 lives. Even though a bitch ain't won, I still got 99 lives, and I feel like that's a big accomplishment. I feel like that should be where I end the series, it's just getting 99 lives. You know what? I'm going to change what SparkleDart is. I'm going to play games where you can collect lives, and I'm going to play them until I get 99 of those lives. And then that will be the end of the series. Actually, that won't work because there are certain games, like Super Mario Brothers for the NES, the first one, where if you collect more than 9 lives, because I guess for some reason they didn't expect that anybody would get more than 9 lives. I don't know really the reason for that. Because Super Mario Brothers 3 lets you get 99 lives without the live counter glitching. So, oh my fucking lord. Okay, so I'll end this episode as soon as I hit a checkpoint. You know what? I'll do that. That's what I'll do. So in Super Mario Brothers, here's more video game fucking trivia for you fucking nerds. You stupid ass geeks. In Super Mario Brothers, the first, you can collect lives, and in most video game series, like specifically older video games, if for any reason you can increase a counter past the point where it's actually supposed to go, then it starts to glitch out. And I'll explain why that is. It's because in Super Mario Brothers, the first, if you get more than 9 lives, then it attempts to put, instead of a 0 in the tenths place of the counter, it attempts to put a 1 there. But there's no character for that in the game's memory. So what it winds up doing is putting the next number. You know what? I can't explain why that happens. I think that's just a fucking glitch. But I will explain this. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3, you can collect more than 999 lives. Not normally, but you can do it if you cheat and use the debug menu. And what happens is in the 100th counter, once it goes past 9, there's only 3 digits on the counter. So what it winds up doing instead is it puts a 10 in the 100th counter instead of a 9. So say you have 999 rings, right? It wants to put the next digit in the counter, which would be 10 instead of 9. Normally it would roll over and go to the next digit, but there's only 3 digits, not 4. So it wants to put a 10 there. So what it does is it looks in the memory of the game where the 9 is, and then it picks the next graphic past the 9, which typically isn't a number because there's not more than 10 there's not more than 10 one-digit numbers. 0 through 9, that's 10 digits. Look it up. imdb.com. And it causes the graphical display to glitch up. This might be boring for you. I don't really know, because I'm like a semi-decent programmer, but I'm not like good at. I couldn't make like a full-fledged video game 3D like this fucking game here. I'm just some guy who went to school for computer science and programming and did maybe okay at it. Not as good as he could have. He didn't go to class every day because he started doing the assignments ahead of time. So I guess it's impossible to jump past there fast enough. I guess that's just how it is. I guess this game ends here because it's not possible to beat it. Going on what I was saying, instead of being a facetious retard, I was in programming. I kind of wanted to make video games, but moreover, I just wanted to make cool things in programming, because I always thought it was a lot harder than it is. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, SparkleDart, programming, it just seems like a cruel mistress. It seems like something that you'd have to be really smart to do. And let me tell you what, I did it, and I'm not that smart. So you can do it too if you really want to. You can figure it out. You can go to your local university, Penn State, whatever, UC Berkeley, whatever. They've got a computer class there that you can go and get red-pilled in the world of computer programming and say to yourself, well, SparkleDart, you know what? I want to make a video game. I want to be the next Notch or the next Scott Calhoun or the next guy who made Undertale. Fucking game, Undertale. And let me tell you what. Mr. whatever his name is that made Undertale probably isn't a computer programmer. He's probably just some guy who took RPG Maker and made something cool with it, is what he is. You don't need to be proficient in the art to make something successful. What you need is a stroke of luck, or to just have people in the know that can help you out with your project when you really need it. Because they always say when you're trying to enter the business, like say you want to make a cartoon or a comic book, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And that's generally true. I'm not going to deny that any of that's not true. Anyways, I rambled on for long enough. We're almost done with the game. I'll probably beat it before the next episode is over. We'll see about that. Crossing my fingers. If not, I'll run it long, and then we will do that. So anyways, thank you for watching my stupid fucking rant about nothing. Have fun. Goodbye. Mwah.